Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. I'm your host, theFellowKGB. You can follow me on Twitter at theFellowKGB. And we're going to be looking at some Roto World training camp news and updates today. It's going to be probably a quicker video, maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most. We're going live here. I'm going to try to do some more live streams. So if anyone's popping in or out, you can say hi in the comments, ask me questions, whatever you need. But we're just looking at the Roto World website here. I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share here. I think I can do this. So I'm using a brand new streaming platform, and I'm trying to just kind of work out the kinks and figure out what's going on here. So I'm using a platform called StreamYard, and so far I kind of like it. It's pretty nice. It's mainly a live feature thing. But it's cool to have people in the comments. So let me know if you're in here. Don't forget to like, comment the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So anyways, here we are. We're looking at the Roto World. I just hovered over the player news tab, and we're just going to kind of read some of the main blurbs today. So rookie wide receiver Gabriel Davis, it sounds like he's been routinely standing out this summer. So the quote is, Davis has routinely stood out in practices and has quickly become a trusted target of all four quarterbacks. He's been a frequent topic of conversation amongst the Bills media after the 6'2" UCF product arrived in the league with a reputation of maximizing his size. So he's a big, speedy receiver. Davis will be unlikely to make redraft noise behind Stephon Diggs and John Brown, but the 21-year-old is an intriguing stash. So we really don't know how long John Brown's going to be hanging out with the team, so this is more of a dynasty thing. But apparently this is the guy that could be the main feature offensive piece, maybe in 2-3 years. So keep an eye out on the name Gabriel Davis. We have Devin Asiasi, rookie tight end here from the third round. The Athletics' Jeff Howe reports that Devin Asiasi's blocking has really stood out, and that's really good to hear because Asiasi is more of an elite receiving tight end. So this makes me feel comfortable that he's going to be on the field a little bit more in 2020 right away as a rookie, and he might be the best rookie tight end as far as fantasy standpoint this year. So it's really interesting to see. He's one of the guys that I'm keeping an eye on. He's going to be on the field, I think, a lot. And they did draft 3 tight ends. They drafted, I can't remember his name. It was Dalton something. And he's going to be more of the blocking running tight end. But everything's looking good for Asiasi. We got Preston Williams here. The Miami Herald's Adam Beasley has been impressed with Preston's performance throughout the first 6 days of camp. The quote is, now he's back, and based on the 6 training camp practices open to reporters, potentially better than ever. So this is really awesome news because he had the ACL, I think like in week 8 or 9 last year, and he's basically way ahead of schedule. There's no setbacks. He's running with the ones, and it sounds like he's going to be, competing with Devontae Parker for a lot of targets in this offense. And I would say you should be getting Preston Williams as your 4th or 5th receiver. He's an ideal bench stash, someone that you can monitor the first couple weeks. We think the Dolphins are going to throw the ball a lot. They should be trailing in a lot of competitive games. So I'm a big fan of Preston Williams. I still like Devontae Parker, but the fact that, you draft Devontae in the 6th round maybe, and Preston goes in the 10th or sometimes 11th round, that just seems a bit crazy. Preston, basically on an 8-game sample last year, I was looking at the numbers. Preston Williams was on pace for 64 catches, about 856 yards and 6 touchdowns. So there's a lot of good stuff here. He could be a sneaky 1,000-yard receiver in year 2. So I really like Preston Williams. Keep an eye on him. J.K. Dobbins, man, one of my favorite rookie running backs to target. So reports are every practice seems to bring another highlight reel submission from J.K. Dobbins. I'm going to go to Twitter here. Yo, I'm 1 away from 400, so somebody hook me up. But anyways, I got some plays here. From J.K. Dobbins, here is a route that he caught. Tape for these coaches to know what they're going to get. That's over linebacker back in the end zone. It looks like he got his feet in bounds. So just look at that. He gets to the outside. He's able to kind of stack the defender. Come down with the highlight grab. So we love that. And then there was another video here where he just destroys 3rd-round pick. I think that's Malik. I can't remember. Maybe Malik Hooker. But that's a 3rd-round pick from Ohio State, and he just swiped him. So I'm getting excited about the rookie J.K. Dobbins. He should be a guy that continues to get more work as the season progresses. So Alex Smith, he's not really in a position to be playing this year, so it's just a good story to keep monitoring. Tight end in Washington, Logan Thomas, they're reporting that the 7th-year converted quarterback from, where did he play? I think it was Virginia Tech, but he's emerging as the #1 tight end. And this is an interesting guy to keep an eye on because he's kind of got like a Darren Waller type of buzz to him, where he's an ultra athletic tight end. He's got the smarts too. He played quarterback in college. He really hasn't been given the chance to be the tight end one throughout his career, but it looks like he's making the most of his opportunities right now. And I mean, we're expecting Washington to be trailing and to be pretty much a top 5 pick next year. So they're not going to win a lot of games. They're going to be slinging it around. And he's just an interesting name to keep an eye on. If this guy catches 6 for 70 and a touchdown week 1, you could probably go ahead and snag him and see what happens. I'm just trying to think any other offensive weapons here. So Jarrett Stidham, he's kind of fading out. It didn't look like he was ready to practice today. He was kind of just struggling to stretch. So Cam Newton's going to be the dude. We've already talked about Cam Newton. I'm pretty much looking at him as my superflex QB2. He's an ideal streaming quarterback as well. Probably the biggest 2 news pieces of the day here were with Tyrique Williams and Kenyon Drake, though. The Raiders receiver was diagnosed with a torn labrum. He's going to try to play through it. I don't really know if that's a good idea. I think that's being a little bit bold. I'd rather see him take the time to recover and heal. I don't know if that requires surgery or not, but he's going to try to play with it. And this is going to give the opportunities for the rookies here. Henry Ruggs, Bryan Edwards, both of those receivers are going to get more reps with the ones now. I still think Hunter Henry's going to get a lot of play in the middle of the field, but it did sound like Henry Ruggs was going to be used in the slot as well. But super exciting opportunity here for the Raiders rookie receivers. I'm not really drafting Tyrique Williams at all. I don't really even find myself drafting Henry Ruggs or Bryan Edwards. Those are more dynasty stashes. If you're going to target anyone on the Raiders, it looks like Josh Jacobs and maybe Darren Waller are the only pieces. And then I kind of like Hunter Henry as one of your last PPR dart throws. So we're looking at Kenyon Drake, and this was a big one. So he tweeted out, "I'm good," but in regards to he was in a walking boot today, which is never great. He's been in a walking boot before, but it's been kind of like a precautionary thing with him, where he seems like he could practice if he had to, but it just sounds like they're just trying to take it easy with him. I really don't know when it happened, but it said there was a little bit of soreness, so it makes sense that he's kind of just keeping it comfortable and not really to make it stressed out. So this is just another reminder, though. Chase Edmonds, guys, he's going in the 9th, 10th, 11th rounds in drafts, and he was a baller last year. He had 3 weeks in the middle of the season. He scored a touchdown in 2 games, and then the 3rd game against the Giants, he lit up for 3 touchdowns. So that's 5 touchdowns in 3 weeks. They were ready to give Chase Edmonds the starting role, even against the Saints. I think it was like week 9 or 10. But Chase Edmonds ended up hurting his hamstring, and then that resulted in them trading for Kenyon Drake. So they were ready to give the keys to Chase Edmonds. I still really like him, but now we got Kenyon Drake. A little bit of caution here. So just monitor that boot, and we'll see what happens there. Again, more Kenyon Drake walking boot news. This one's kind of a big one too. Deontay Johnson has missed the last 5 days of practice. I didn't catch this the last few days. So it's believed to be a calf issue. We don't really know too much. They haven't really been giving us much info. But that means James Washington and Chase Claypool need to be in the back of our minds. If anything happens to Deontay Johnson, and soft tissue injuries for receivers are never a good thing. These are issues that tend to linger, take time to heal, and they need multiple weeks off. So I love Deontay Johnson's upside. He's probably a 7th round pick right now. But we got to keep an eye on his progress, and hopefully we can see him get some full practices in soon. I'm just kind of looking around here. T. Higgins, he hasn't been able to practice for the last few days, but he practiced today but he does have a little bit of hamstring tightness. I did see him on the sideline. He was getting kind of looked at by a trainer and just kind of re-stretching it out. But apparently the star of Bengals camp right now has been Auden Tate, and that's with AJ Green sidelined. So Auden Tate's getting a lot of reps with the ones. Tyler Boyd's also getting a lot of reps with the ones. It looks like right now that Tate and Boyd are going to be some of the biggest weapons for the Bengals passing offense. I know John Ross just got back from his personal matter too, so he's another name to keep an eye on. This is kind of an interesting one. The New England Patriots believe Gunnar Olszewski has looked like the 2nd best receiver. I don't know if this is a good thing. It kind of makes me nervous because, Julian Edelman's been the unquestioned, top wideout there, but you have N'Keal Harry. There's a veteran, Damiere Byrd, Mohamed Sanu. Last year, the preseason, Jacoby Myers lit the world on fire. and none of these guys are really popping out. So Gunnar Olszewski, he was more of a special teams ace last year. He didn't do too much on the offense for fantasy, but it looks like there's a potential drumbeat beginning here. We'll see if he can continue the success. But at the moment right now, I think really the only Patriots I'm feeling comfortable would be Cam Newton and Julian Edelman on my teams. And then I'm trying to figure out this ball of mess that we have for the running game in New England. But, I mean, Sony Michel might play week 1. We really don't know. They have the second year back out of Alabama, Damian Harris. And then you got Rex Burkhead, getting a ton of work as a pass catcher. And James White kind of messes with it too. So I already talked about Auden Tate being the early front runner for offensive MVP of training camp. So that's really cool. Tyreek Hill back at practice. And I think he might have been limited today, but it's really good to see him back as quick as he got back. Some notes here. Patriots signed Nick Falk. They didn't really like it. Sounds like their draft pick kicker isn't really working out. Chicago Bears David Montgomery said he has slimmed down over the offseason and now weighs 218. I don't know how much he weighed last year. Probably in the upper maybe mid 220s. I guess only 5 pounds. So he was about 223, 225. But he cuts out junk food and starts eating right. He's kind of got that Le'Veon Bell vibe where maybe this will help him be more laterally quick and get out of his cuts more with more burst. And it sounds like, from what I've heard, it sounds like he's been pretty impressive throughout Bears camp so far. So keep an eye on David Montgomery. He's kind of a lingering 6th-round pick. And I'm not too much of a fan of him, but it looks like he's starting to take the game seriously. It's his second year. He still was like RB 20-something, 25, 26 last year. So he had a decent enough rookie season to build off of, but we just really don't know what the Bears offense is going to look like. So I'm kind of just keep looking around here. Mike Williams, this is another one that kind of came out big today. Been diagnosed with a sprained shoulder and is week to week, so we're probably not going to see him practice for a while now. So to me, this is just going to pump up Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen was kind of on my – I was really hesitant to draft Keenan Allen, but all of a sudden now with this, I'm kind of getting excited for the Tyrod Taylor offense. I kind of want to pull up something real quick here. The Chargers' schedule, it looks pretty good for fantasy purposes. So let's look at this real quick. So week 1, Cincinnati, Kansas City, Carolina, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, New York, Miami, Jacksonville, Las Vegas. This looks pretty damn good for you're thinking of Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, maybe even Hunter Henry, maybe even Tyrod Taylor. These guys, not a lot of people are expecting much from the Chargers offense this year, but this schedule does not scare me from a defensive standpoint. So I'm starting to get a little bit of excited for Keenan Allen, Eckler, Tyrod, and Hunter Henry. Let's see what else is on the pages here. Just the GM here from the Chiefs saying Clyde Edwards is on pace to have a really big year, be our primary back. We kind of knew that, but it's good to hear it every now and then again. And then basically we're kind of, this is yesterday's news. I guess one of the bigger news blurbs was Darrell Henderson did suffer a mild hamstring injury, so we'll see what he can do. I don't know if he's going to be out for a week, but the team hopes to have him back for week 1. So this might be a multi-week deal where now you're getting Cam Akers, the rookie running back, a ton of first-team reps. Malcolm Brown is still there. So this kind of becomes more of a two-man race. I'm just not drafting Darrell Henderson at all. And I'm really starting to look at Cam Akers in the 6th round. And then Malcolm Brown's becoming an interesting, late-round flyer at the end of drafts. There's some really good buzz here behind Marquez ValdesTechnical yesterday. It sounds like the Packers really want him to be the number 2 receiver. And he's actually gotten some really good stats compared to other second-year wide receivers in the Green Bay offense. I'm trying to find the tweet that I was looking at earlier. My good friend Jesse, who I'm hanging out with tonight. And here it is. So Rodgers receivers technically have a slow start to their career. So you see Marquez ValdesTechnical first 2 seasons, 129 targets, 64 catches, 1,033 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Compare that to Devontae Adams. Adams had a ton more targets with 160, 88 catches, 929 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Compare that to Jordy Nelson, 88 targets, 55 catches, 686 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So the yards per catch are insane for Marquez. Touchdowns are the same, but it's kind of eerily similar to how 2 of Aaron Rodgers' greatest targets of his career, started their careers. So just something to keep an eye on. I think Marquez ValdesTechnical can be, something that is worth taking at the end of the drafts right now. And if we continue to hear more buzz, I know we like Allen Lazard a lot, but I'm a little bit nervous about the Packers tight ends. I don't know if any of those guys are going to step up as like the third or fourth target. So you're going to have, of course, Devontae being the main guy. You're going to have probably Aaron Jones up there for second or third most targets. And then you're going to have MVS and probably Allen Lazard here, hanging around maybe 80-some targets this year. So these guys are really interesting potential stashes and just names to keep an eye on. I guess we'll end with this one. The Raiders signed backup running back Theo Riddick yesterday. Not sure this is going to change Josh Jacobs' outlook too much. I wouldn't really worry about it. This is more of just maybe this is more of a backup for Jalen Richard. Theo Riddick's never really been a really good runner, so he's not going to steal touches from Jacobs there. If anything, they might use Theo Riddick in case Richard gets hurt, or use those two in tandem. So nothing really too nervous about Josh Jacobs there for me. So I'm pretty excited with what we got going on here. We're going on about 16 minutes here. I think that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to be also going live tonight in a little bit at 7 o'clock with some friends. We're going to be filling out a 10-team draft board. We're just going to be going around and making each pick ourselves. And it's kind of just like us looking at the big board and just kind of, being in agreement. Okay, yeah, let's make this guy the next pick. And you'll kind of get to see our thought process behind how we make our picks. So watch that one later. And yeah, thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And we'll see you in another video. Peace.